Okay, section 4.3, Cramer's rule. Okay, in this section we introduce Cramer's rule, which is a tool for solving a linear system of equations. Okay, suppose we have an equation of n variables with n equations. Okay, n variables and n equations. Okay, whose coefficient matrix is A, and X and B can be written as this. Then it can be written as AX equal to B in matrix form. In that case, if determinant of A is not 0, then this Xi's can be written as with the just determinant. Okay, X1 is a determinant of A1 over determinant of A, where this A1 is a matrix with J's the first column replaced by the vector B. And second, A2 is same for the second column. AN is the matrix A with the nth column replaced by the vector B. Okay? This is Cramer's rule. Why? Here, all we have to do is, since determinant of A is not 0, so A is invertible, so A inverse doesn't exist. So here, if we just multiply the existing A inverse on both sides, then what we have? X is equal to A inverse B. It's done. It's solved. Okay? So, but we all know, so A inverse is one of determinant of A times adjugate of A. Okay? So, X, which is this, can be written as A inverse times B. Okay? But A inverse is this. So, we are multiplying this matrix to this vector B. Okay? That's it. Okay. So, what is this? This scalar can be factored. Then, this adjugate matrix is this and B vector like this. Important thing here is then what is this? So we'll see what is this AIJs. Yeah. Oh, this is just adjugate of A. So this is adjugate matrix. So we see. We are looking for the we were asked to check whether X1 is this and X2 is this and Xn is this. So let's check out the X1. So what is X1? X1 is 1 over determinant of A times this times this, isn't it? Inner product of with this and that. So X1 is B1 times A11 plus B2 times A21 plus Bn times An1 over determinant of A. Okay? That's it. X2 is the same, this times that. Xn is this last row times this. That's it. Then what is this? What is this? This is a kind of coeffective expansion of the matrix A. But what we did use as a coefficient here, we use this from the vector B instead of the jth column of this matrix, isn't it? So actually what we found was the determinant of, so what we found was a determinant of, so here this so if we, this was the determinant of a matrix A whose jth column was replaced with this Bi's, the vector B. That was it. So we denote AJ as a matrix A with the jth column replaced by the vector B. Then this is exactly this. This is exactly the determinant of AJ, this matrix A. Okay? A matrix A whose jth column was replaced by B. Then Xj can be written as a determinant of J over determinant of A. That's what we were trying to show. It's done. It's proved. So suppose we have this this linear system of equation, then we find the determinant of A, and we find the cofactors. Then here the B is 1 for 3, so A1 is a determinant of the matrix A whose first column is B, and determinant of A2 is a determinant of the matrix A whose second column is B, and A3 is a matrix whose third column is B. Okay, so we find the determinant of this A1, A2, A3. Then X1 is just the determinant of A1 over determinant of A, and X2 is minus 6 over minus 2, and X3 is just minus 8 over minus 2. That's it. Okay. Here, if you have a matrix A, then if you can define a new matrix A, B, A1, A2, A3, whose the J's column is B, then find the determinant of everything and divide the determinant of A with these. Then you will have X, Y, G as you wish it, which is same as what we had. 2, 3, 4 was found, could be found, just computing those vectors. Suppose we have this homogeneous system of equation, and determinant of A was not 0, it was minus 2. Okay? Then, since the determinant of minus 2 is a homogeneous system, inverse matrix does exist, multiply it, then X should be a 0 vector. That's the only trivial solution for this linear system of equation. For homogeneous system, and A is non-singular, then it has only a trivial solution. For an invertible matrix, I think we already had this. But in a theorem in section 4.3, we had shown that A is invertible if and only if determinant of A is not 0. So we add the last 8 condition for invertible matrix theorem. So we are adding more and more equivalent statement for invertible matrices. Okay, I think that's the end of section 4.3. And here, I think when I was a student, this project was first initiated in the United States with the support of National Science Foundation, teaching linear algebra with the software tools. And I think this is a kind of starting point of the changes in teaching and learning of linear algebra at undergraduate. You may see some information here. Now you are enjoying the advances since these approaches. Okay. Okay. And next, application of determinant. I will add this section. I will give you the YouTube lectures on this. I will record, so you will see the determinant of applications. Here, since we have 5 more minutes, I will briefly explain more. It is an application of determinant. You have 2 points. You are looking for a line, equation of a line that passes through these 2 points. How? This is it. This is determinant. If you do the cofactor expansion, this is exactly 1 times A plus B times X plus C times Y is equal to 0, isn't it? That is AX plus BY plus C is equal to 0. This is it. So this is the equation of line. All we have to do is check whether these 2 points pass this or not, whether these 2 points satisfy this equation or not. If we add the first point here, x1, y, what's the determinant of this? 0, because we have 2 same lines. If you substitute x2, y2 on here, then you have x2, y2. You have 2 same rows, so you have 2 same rows, determinant is 0. So it satisfies it. So this is an equation of line that passes through this. That satisfies, 2 points satisfies this line of equation. So finding the line of equation, to find the equation of line is much easier if you know the determinant. What about this? This is a simulator that I made. If you are looking for an equation of plane that passes through the 3 point, 3 point in R3, how you find it? What's the shape of this equation? AX plus BY plus CG plus D is equal to 0, isn't it? That's the equation. That's the equation. What about this? What's the determinant of this with cofactor expansion? Scalar D plus AX, X times a scalar cofactor, plus Y times a scalar, plus G times a cofactor scalar, isn't it? Cofactor expansion, which says AX plus BY plus CG plus D is equal to 0. So this is an equation. This gives us an equation. And if you plug in this x1, y1, g1 here, then does it satisfy? That point satisfies this equation or not? We have two same laws, determinant 0. So 0 is equal to 0. So the first point satisfies this. That plane. Second point, third point also satisfies it. That means this is an equation that these 3 points rise on. Okay. If you are looking for an area that makes these two vectors makes parallel pipe, the area of the parallelogram. That's the determinant of this. If you have 2 points, then form a matrix whose column vectors are this, then determinant of this is this, which is the area of this. If you have a 3 point in R3, then form a matrix whose column vectors are these 3 points. Then determinant of this is the area of this parallel piped 평행 육면체의 부피가 그냥 디터미넌트로 구해져요. 같은 식으로 n차원 공간에 n개의 벡터가 있다 그러면 n개의 벡터가 만드는 도형이 있겠죠. 패럴러 파이프가 있겠죠. 그거의 볼륨이 바로 그 n개의 벡터들을 컬럼으로 하는 행렬의 행렬식이야. 그러니까 여러분들은 지금 여기서 배운 개념이 1차원, 2차원이 아니라 n차원 공간으로 확장해서 그대로 사용할 수 있는 거예요. 여러분이 디터미넌트가 뭔지를 이해하면 그게 이제 시뮬레이션 보여주는 거고, 여기서 금방 얘기했듯이 에리아를 구할 때, 볼륨을 구할 때, 그리고 이제 n차원 공간에서 Rn 안에 있는 투 벡터가 만드는 패럴로그램의 에리아는 A에다 요거 A를 이렇게 두 개의 컬럼 벡터를 만들면 A 트랜스포즈 A라는 행렬은 2x2 행렬이죠. 그렇죠? 2x2 행렬의 디터미넌트를 구한 거에 스퀘어루트를 씌워준 것이 바로 볼륨이 됩니다. 즉 여러분들 n차원 공간에 있는 두 개의 벡터가 만드는 평행사변형의 면적도 구할 수 있는 거예요. 부피도 구할 수 있고 3개 이상의 그 증명은 여기 있어요. 이게 결국은 이게 뭐냐면 square of base times height가 area잖아요. 그러니까 이거하고 밑변 곱하기 높이 하면 되는 거잖아. 그럼 그게 바로 이거잖아. 계산해 보면 이게 바로 이거랑 같아지고 그게 바로 이거의 디터미넌트가 되죠. 따라서 디터미넌트가 A 트랜스포즈. 그러니까 여러분 디터미넌트를 알면 그동안 복잡하게 계산했던 여러 가지가 다 그냥 아주 쉽게 명료하게 간단하게 또 빠른 시간에 구해질 수 있다는 거예요. 세 점을 지나는 삼각형의 면적 구하는 거는 바로 그것을 세 점을 축이동하면 원점을 지나는 두 벡터가 만든 삼각형하고 면적이 똑같아지죠. 그렇죠? 그러니까 그게 바로 이거지. 원점을 지나는 두 개의 벡터가 만드는 평행사변형의 면적의 절반이 삼각형의 면적이니까. 근데 이거를 그 디터미넌트 프로퍼티를 이용해서 확장시키면 이 행렬이 되잖아. 그러니까 세 점이 만드는 그 삼각형은 이렇게 요 원원원을 놓고 세 점을 놓고 디터미넌트를 구해서 면적을 구하면 이게 바로 이게 되고 이게 바로 요 2차 행렬의 디터미넌트가 되는데 이게 바로 원점에서 요 두 개의 벡터가 만드는 삼각형의 면적하고 같아지는 것이니까 원래 우리가 만들었던 에리아 오브 트라이앵글이 바로 이렇게 구해질 수 있는 거예요. 그러니까 세 점 문제를 두 점 문제로 바꿔줘서 2차 행렬로 해서 구해지는 거죠. 반델몬드 매트릭스. 반델몬드. n개의 점이 있으면 그 n개의 점을 지나는 n-1차의 다항식을 찾을 수 있죠? 그렇죠? 그러면 연립방정식을 만들면 이렇죠? 그렇죠? 그러면 그 행렬이 이렇게 생겼죠? 근데 이 행렬의 디터미넌트가 어떻게 되냐면 이렇게 돼요. 행렬의 디터미넌트가. 근데 그러면 이게 0이 이게 xi하고 xj가 다 다르면 이게 0이 아니죠. 0이 아닌 것들 다 곱한 거는 0이 아니죠. 그러니까 디터미넌트가 0이 아니게 되죠. 그러니까 디터미넌트가 이게 0이 아니면 이게 연립방정식에 유일한 해가 존재하죠. 그러면 aij들을 유일하게 찾을 수 있죠. 그럼 폴리노미알이 그냥 나오죠. 근데 누가 실험할 때 데이터 구할 때 이게 이 xi를 갖게 하는 사람이 어디 있어? 자, 매 시간마다 측정하면 1시, 2시, 3시, 4시, 5시, 내일 1시, 2시 이렇게 되잖아. 그러니까 시간이 다 다르죠. xi가 다 다르죠. 그러니까 xi는 언제나 다르게 데이터를 우리가 만들 수 있죠. 측정을. 그러면 디터미넌트가 무조건 0이 아니고 역행렬이 존재하고 그래서 역행렬을 곱하면 ai들이 유일하게 딱 나와서 폴리노미알을 구할 수 있는 거예요. 이렇게 하면 저랑 같이 가우스 소거법 하지 않고도 구할 수 있죠. 폴리노미알을 아주 쉽게. 더군다나 이걸 조금 더 나가면 이게 이제 점은 100개인데 점 100개를 가장 근사하게 지나는 5차식을 구해라. 그럼 그것도 구할 수 있어. 가장 근사하게 지나는 뭐 3차식을 구해라. 그럼 그것도 구할 수 있어요. 자, 그런 것들은 나중에 다시 가르쳐 줄게요. 그러니까 여러분들이 배운 게 이렇게 다 관계가 되는 거예요. 반델본드 행렬을 정의하고 그 디터미넌트를 구하면 바로 구할 수 있거든요. 그 디터미넌트 구해서 연립방정식을 풀면 바로 그 세 점을 지나는 다항식의 개수가 이렇게 나오고 그것을 그림을 그리면 이렇게 그림을 그릴 수 있죠. 즉 세 점을 지나는 2차 방정식의 그래프를 이렇게 그릴 수 있는 겁니다. 자, 오늘 여기까지 하고 이제 다음에 아이겐밸류, 아이겐벡터를 하도록 하겠습니다. 질문 있습니까? 오케이. 자, 클래스 디스미스드.